envisioning the vibrant celebrations and joyous unions that Ignacio described. Among the tales of love and happiness, there was a particular narrative that held a shadowy undertow: the mysterious wedding of their grandfather, Ignacio. As the brothers meandered homeward, their banter was interspersed with Ignacio's musings. "Before I start the story, don't forget to subscribe to support our channel," Ibon teased, his voice tinged with playful urgency, mimicking the popular online influencers they often watched on their shared smartphone. Ignacio chuckled and retorted, "You can take it to the other barangay, Ibon. Is that done?" The familiar back and forth continued, a comforting rhythm that always marked their conversations. The path they trod was etched with the imprints of their community, where every soul held a place in the intricate tapestry of interconnected lives. As they finally approached the humble abode they called home, the weariness in Ibon's movements was palpable. Ignacio had already begun preparing their simple evening meal, while Ibon dutifully set out to fetch water from the distant well. Their homestead lay in a secluded area, where even the most basic necessities demanded laborious effort. The source of water was situated a considerable distance away, and Ibon bore the responsibility of fetching it, the weighty buckets straining against his sinewy frame. The day quietly transformed into dusk as Ibon labored under the burden of the heavy vessels. The evening descended into a serene calm, punctuated by the rhythmic chirping of crickets in the background. But an unexpected commotion shattered the tranquility, startling both brothers as they hurriedly turned their attention to the source of the disturbance. Ibon's pulse quickened as he reached for a nearby stick, his reflex honed by the mischievous antics of his young nephew, his first instinct to uncover the source of the disruption. However, what greeted him was a sight that sent a jolt of haunted their village. They had witnessed the ghost's eerie movements and heard the chilling whispers in the night. Running toward their home, Ignacio held a flaming arrow in his hand, the flickering flames casting an eerie glow on his determined face. The air was thick with the smell of incense, a powerful repellent against the malevolent spirits. Positioning themselves strategically, they readied their defenses. As the ghosts advanced, their eyes gleaming with malevolence, Ignacio's grip tightened on the bow. Without warning, a ghost charged toward them, its intentions clear. Ignacio released the flaming arrow, and as it soared through the air, the night was illuminated with a torrent of fire, driving the ghosts back into the shadows. The flames danced, casting a protective barrier around them as the ghosts retreated, hissing and snarling in frustration. Exhausted but resolute, Ignacio and his brother stood guard, knowing the ghosts would be back. They understood the consequences, feeling an inexplicable ease in her presence. As the days passed, Ignacio grew more curious about the woman, her mysterious history, and her inexplicable connection to the spirits haunting their village. Meanwhile, Ignacio's brother, Danilo, and the woman slowly developed a deep camaraderie. They worked harmoniously, sharing responsibilities, and forming an unspoken bond. Ignacio noticed the woman's expertise in herbal medicine and her dedication to aiding others in need. Chang Naja, a prominent figure in the village, expressed growing skepticism about the woman's presence. Her unwavering distrust caused ripples of discord within the close-knit community. Foolhardy arguments and accusatory glances edged their daily interactions. As the days turned into months, the woman's healing abilities became increasingly apparent. Ignacio had observed her administering a peculiar herbal remedy to a bedridden patient, whose recovery seemed almost miraculous. Nanang Manda witnessed the cure and acknowledged the woman's benevolent nature, ultimately earning her trust. However, Chang Naja's persisting mistrust threatened to unravel the newfound peace Unfounded rumors and unfounded allegations fueled tensions, causing Ignacio to ponder deep questions about the woman, her intentions, and her connection to the spirits that had besieged their village. The woman's bond with Ignacio's brother blossomed over time. Their affection for one another became irrefutable, drawing both admiration and concern from the villagers. As whispers of their impending nuptials began to spread, unwelcoming glances and hushed conversations filled the air. Ignacio felt torn between his loyalty to his brother and his growing unease about the woman. Chang Nadia's fervent disapproval of the union intensified, and Ignacio found himself caught in the crossfire of conflicting loyalties and emotions. As the village braced for a pivotal moment, Ignacio struggled with the weight of the woman's mysterious, Danilo's eyes, and the tension that creased his forehead. The pending wedding between Danilo and Hiraya had brought a sense of joy to their family, but Chang Nadia's ominous warnings had cast a shadow of fear over their happiness. "That's enough, Nadia. I know she's not the enemy. I'm the healer here. So I know whether we'll be ruined or not," Danilo declared firmly as he turned to face Ignacio. "I've proven that you're not against Hiraya, and—" "Shut up, okay, Danilo? Do what you want!" Nadia interjected with a mix of frustration and concern. "I don't care about her opinion. There's a lot," Hong added, his brows furrowed in concern. Ignacio felt a surge of pressure building within him. The ambiguity of the situation and the growing unease in the village had taken a toll on him. The heated discussions and whispered allegations fueled a sense of foreboding he couldn't shake off. Then, as the evening descended, the villagers gathered to the sound of faint music. Nanang, the village, can do the work of an albulario. Chang Naja is negating evidence. We can't see that she's descended from an Aswang. Her ability is like an albulario's ability. Nanang's voice cut through the tense silence, her words echoing with a sense of authority. "She cured Mrs. N, who was bewitched, eh? Have you forgotten?" "Nanang said that Sister Hiraya cured it," Danilo affirmed, his voice trembling with a mix of disbelief and loyalty. As the villagers whispered and debated the potential threat Hiraya posed, Ignacio could feel the unease gripping everyone. He remained silent, his eyes flickering with unspoken doubt. The tension in the air was suffocating, and the weight of suspicion hung heavy on his shoulders. Then, in the glow of the lantern-lit night, Chang Naja's voice pierced the stillness, the urgency palpable in his tone. "I know that their marriage will be the end of us all. I won't act like this, and I won't do this. I'll do everything. If what I'm saying isn't true, that woman has figure. Don't worry, Alfonso. I'll take care of it. I know what I'll do. I know there's a traitor in the tribe. Let him move around." Chang's voice resonated with an air of authority. "Okay. I also trust my grandson. Our safety all depends on him." The enigmatic figure responded, their voice shrouded in mystery. As Ignacio's apprehension intensified, a tumult of emotions surged within him. The revelations had shattered the fragile semblance of peace in the village, and the weight of uncertainty bore heavily on his shoulders. Returning to the village, Ignacio grappled with the burden of what he had learned, uncertain how to navigate the web of secrecy and suspicion that entangled their lives. The weight of the unspoken truth gnawed at him, and he struggled to reconcile the conflicting loyalties that tore at his heart. Days passed in an agonizing haze of contemplation and restlessness as Ignacio grappled with the burden of the unspoken truth. The looming specter of Chang Naja's? Longer, Ignacio hesitated before finally broaching the subject that had weighed heavily on his heart. "Brother, I found out something. I overheard Chang Naja speaking in the forest. There's something ominous brewing, something that threatens us all," he divulged, his voice laden with apprehension and urgency. The confession lingered in the air, casting a pall of unease over the tranquil evening. Danilo's brow furrowed in concern, his eyes reflecting a mixture of disbelief and concern. "Ignacio, are you sure about what you heard? I can't believe that Hiraya would be involved in something threatening," Danilo responded, shaking his head in denial. The weight of the unspoken truth lingered heavily between them, casting a shadow over their shared tasks and companionable silence. Ignacio yearned for the clarity and resolution that had eluded him, the enigmatic conversations and ominous warnings haunting his thoughts. Weeks passed, each day weighed down by the burden of uncertainty and the relentlessly in his mind, driving him to seek solace in the tranquil embrace of nature. As the days stretched into wearisome silence, Ignacio's tortured thoughts and restless contemplations endured, the weight of the unspoken truth gnawing at him. The burden of uncertainty bore heavily on his heart, the unsettling web of secrecy and suspicion entangling his thoughts in an unrelenting grip. Then, on a tranquil evening, Ignacio found himself in the company of his brother, Danilo, who had been busy crafting traditional tools and farming implements. The rhythmic clinks of metal against metal filled the air as Danilo diligently worked on his creations, his brow furrowed in concentration. "That's new. We'll bring it to the boss tomorrow. The machines and brooms you've made are good. You finished them. Now help me, brother," Danilo called out, his tone punctuated with a blend of exhaustion and determination. Perhaps inspired by the comforting familiarity of their shared tasks, Danilo turned, before finally broaching the subject that had weighed heavily on his heart. "Brother, I found out something. I overheard Changnaja speaking in the forest. There's something ominous brewing, something that threatens us all," he divulged, his voice laden with apprehension and urgency. The confession lingered in the air, casting a pall of unease over the tranquil evening. Danilo's brow furrowed in concern, his eyes reflecting a mixture of disbelief and concern. "Ignacio, are you sure about what you heard? I can't believe that Hiraya would be involved in something threatening," Danilo responded, shaking his head in denial. The weight of the unspoken truth lingered heavily between them, casting a shadow over their shared tasks and companionable silence. Ignacio yearned for the clarity and resolution that had eluded him, the enigmatic conversations and ominous warnings haunting his thoughts. Despite the warmth of the evening, a palpable sense of unease lingered between the brothers, and the burden of the unspoken truth cast a shadow over their shared tasks. Ignacio's heart ached with the weight of his discoveries, and the relentless pursuit of the truth consumed his every thought. Days stretched into long nights, the enigmatic conversations and ominous warnings haunting Ignacio's thoughts. The weight of the unspoken truth bore heavily on his heart, and the desire to protect his brother and the village eclipsed his own fears. As the whispers of suspicion and the weight of uncertainty loomed over the village, Ignacio silently navigated the bustling streets, the burden of the unspoken truth weighing heavily on his shoulders. The cacophony of village life contrasted sharply with the heavy silence that shrouded his own inner turmoil. The days stretched into weeks, each passing moment weighed down by a sense of foreboding and anxiety. The shadow of betrayal and deception seemed to stifle the warmth of the tranquil village, and the weight of the unspoken truth lingered. Against metal filled the air as Danilo diligently worked on his creations, his brow furrowed in concentration. "That's new. We'll bring it to the boss tomorrow. The machines and brooms you've made are good. You finished them. Now help me, brother," Danilo called out, his tone punctuated with a blend of exhaustion and determination. Perhaps inspired by the comforting familiarity of their shared tasks, Danilo turned to Ignacio with an earnest expression, his eyes reflecting a mix of concern and compassion. "Ignacio, is there a problem? You seem troubled," Danilo inquired, his voice infused with brotherly concern. Unable to contain the burden of his unsettling discoveries any longer, Ignacio hesitated before finally Ignacio had always been a watchful and vigilant member of his community. His tribe lived in constant fear of Aswang infiltrating their territory, preying on them without a drop of compassion. The fort where they lived was fortified and protected fiercely by the tribes. Ignacio's heart raced as he realized that he was venturing into the forbidden territory of the ghosts. As they neared the outskirts of the haunted area, Ignacio's instincts compelled him to retreat. He couldn't ignore the chilling feeling that lingered in the air. He raced back to the safety of his fort, wary of the dangers that might be lurking in the shadows. Upon his return, Ignacio's brother Danilo and a despondent Hiraya awaited him. Danilo scrutinized Ignacio's early departure and return, sensing that something troubled his younger brother. "Where have you been, Ignacio?" Danilo asked, his concern evident in his eyes. Ignacio hesitated for a moment before divulging his daring expedition. "I was following Nadia to the ghostly realm," he confessed, his voice laced with apprehension. Danilo admonished him. "Ignacio, you mustn't go there. It's dangerous." Determined to protect his loved ones, Ignacio vowed to unearth the truth, even if it meant defying his brothers, embroiled in a harrowing confrontation. His suspicions spiraled into a confrontation with his brother, Danilo, fueled by a ceaseless yearning to unravel the tangled web of deception that threatened to ensnare them all. Tensions simmered beneath the surface, and the once unshakable bond between the brothers strained beneath the weight of revelations and unspoken truths. Their heated exchange crackled with unspoken emotions, a rift tearing through the fabric of their unity. "I cannot stand idly by, blinded by love and trust," Ignacio confessed, his voice echoing with a poignant plea for understanding. Danilo's furrowed brow betrayed the storm of emotions brewing within him. "Ignacio, tread carefully. Love blinds, but it also illuminates. Do not forsake caution in the pursuit of truth," he cautioned, his words a balm and a warning woven into one. The burden of his doubts weighed heavily upon Ignacio's heart, entwined with the fear of making irreparable mistakes. The looming specter of untold deceit. An unforeseen revelation unfurled before him, unraveling a labyrinth of truths and betrayals that threatened to shatter the fragile tranquility of his world. In a dire revelation, Ignacio beheld the stark visage of betrayal before him, witnessing the harrowing machinations that sought to rend their lives asunder. He stood at the precipice, bearing witness to the unraveling of trust and the desolation wrought by treacherous ploys. Held captive by the weight of his discovery, Ignacio grappled with the staggering realization of the treachery that lurked within their midst. The sinister veils of deception were unraveled before him, laying bare the web of deceit that ensnared his loved ones. Unyielding in his pursuit of truth, Ignacio confronted the grim reality that gnawed at the edges of his consciousness, rattling the foundations of his stalwart resolve. The tempest of emotions surged within him as he struggled to navigate the tumultuous waters of uncertainty that grappled with the weight of his profound discoveries, navigating treacherous waters that threatened to engulf their lives in a maelstrom of chaos. The tempest of emotions surged within him as he fought to shepherd his loved ones away from the looming shadows that threatened to consume them. Fueled by unwavering determination, Ignacio found himself ensnared in a harrowing struggle. As he sought to navigate the treacherous pathways that led to the heart of darkness. The unyielding burden of his revelations bore down upon him, an immutable weight that etched lines of anguish upon his countenance. In the throes of unrelenting turmoil, Ignacio found himself ensnared in a relentless gambit for survival as he embarked upon a perilous journey to safeguard the fragile tranquility of their lives. Amidst the labyrinths of treachery and deception, he stood as a stalwart sentinel, a beacon of unwavering resolve amidst the encroaching shadows. As the fates conspired to test the bounds of their finally returned to a semblance of normality. The air was thick with the promise of a new beginning, but the wounds from our harrowing encounter with the supernatural still festered within us. My body had recovered quickly, but my mind and spirit remained haunted by the memories of those dark days. As we journeyed back to our fortress, I couldn't shake the feeling of lingering dread. The landscape that had once felt familiar now appeared eerie and desolate. The sky above was heavy with ominous clouds, mirroring the weight on our hearts. And as we approached our house, a sinking feeling settled in my stomach. "Why is there no one here at our house?" I asked, my voice tinged with apprehension. My sister, Haraya, turned to me with a somber expression. "Ignore me. It's good that you're back. How are you doing?" I forced a small smile, trying to mask the unease that gnawed at me. "I still had a slight fever when we left, but I know I can handle myself." But I couldn't help but feel a sense of impending doom. "But where are they?" I implored, desperation creeping into my voice. "I don't know either," Haraya admitted, her eyes clouded with worry. "Just this morning, there was no one at your house." As the realization of the perilous situation we were in began to sink in, panic began to seize me. "Hey, when is the full moon this month? Is it already later? Oh my God, I need to go back to the fort. The ghost might be there." Sister Haraya knew that I was going to follow Changnadia. I mused, trying to process the information. "So, she must have thought I would know. She went ahead and said that I was with my brother." "Don't worry, we'll come with you too. I'll help even though I'm not feeling well," Haraya assured me, her eyes reflecting a fierce determination to protect her family at all costs. At that moment, we sprang into action, rallying ourselves for the impending danger that lurked in the shadows. We couldn't afford to wallow in fear. We had to act swiftly if we were to stand a chance against the malevolent forces that threatened to tear our family apart. Gritting our teeth, we pressed forward, each step carrying the weight of our collective worries. The afternoon sun cast long, eerie shadows around us, casting an otherworldly pall over the landscape. We knew that darkness would soon descend upon us, and with it, the looming threat of the supernatural. As we reached the location of the impending confrontation, a chill washed over us, settling deep in our bones. The adrenaline pumping through our veins was a byproduct of our unyielding determination to protect our loved ones against the encroaching darkness. The tribe of attackers assembled, ready to face the looming specter of the ghosts. We stood divided yet united, the tension crackling in the air like static electricity. I took the lead, my senses attuned to the impending danger that lurked in the shadows. "We're all in danger," I warned, my voice laced with urgency. As the sun dipped, below the horizon, the sky was ablaze with the vibrant hues of dusk, lending an ethereal glow to the hushed landscape. We scattered, each of us seeking strategic vantage points in preparation for the impending confrontation. "Ignacio, did you see any other way here except the front?" I inquired, my voice betraying the flicker of apprehension that gnawed at me. "I witnessed them killing Changnaja," He changed his mind, I confided, my voice trembling with the weight of the truth I bore. He will betray you so that you can catch your brother, but I was still caught. I just don't understand that out of all the arsonists, I'm the one who was asked to be the offering of the stinger. The sense of injustice burned within me, driving my resolve to protect my family at all costs. The impending danger loomed ominously, casting a shadow over our every move. The tension in the air was palpable as we braced ourselves for the impending clash with the ghosts. Every sound, every rustle in our very lives. The agony of helplessness clawed at my insides, the invisible chains of captivity binding us in place as the grotesque spectacle unfolded before us. Sister Raya, don't do this, my voice rang out, thick with desperation. I'm begging you. We took care of you. Sister Raya, turn around, please. But she remained deaf to my pleas, her gaze fixed on the dark path she had chosen. The weight of her betrayal cut through me like a blade, shredding the tenuous fabric that once tethered us to each other. I was rendered powerless, a mere witness to the grotesque spectacle that played out before me. A tremor of fear coursed through me, my heart constricting with the harrowing realization that I was about to witness my own brother being torn from me in the cruelest manner imaginable. The horrors that played out before me momentarily clouded my vision, but in the cacophony of chaos, a glimmer of hope pierced the darkness. A surge of resolute defiance surged through me, igniting a flicker of courage within my battered spirit. It seemed like I would witness him being killed in front of me, I confessed, my voice choked with emotion. This was really the opportunity I had been waiting for. Every breath was a battle. Every beat of my heart echoed the resilient determination that pulsed through my veins. And then, when all hope seemed lost, a defiant cry rang out through the night, shattering the oppressive silence. Sister Raya, have mercy on my brother. My voice, desperate and fervent, laced with the fervor of a man desperate to protect the vestiges of his shattered family. The air quivered with the weight of our entwined fates, the fabric of our intertwined destinies bound by the night's unyielding embrace. And then, in a crescendo of chaos, the tides turned, and the battle reached a fever pitch. My brother's voice rang out through the turmoil, a powerful testament to the unyielding strength of the human spirit in the face of unspeakable horrors. You're an testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit in the face of unspeakable trials. Every chuckle was a victory cry. Every shared moment, a testament to the unyielding resilience of the human heart. And as the resplendent flames danced before us, casting a warm glow upon our jubilant faces, I felt an overwhelming rush of gratitude for the wealth of love and resilience that bound us together. The trials we had faced had forged an unbreakable bond between us, a bond that would guide us forward into the boundless expanse of new beginnings. The sun was setting, casting a warm, golden glow over the small, picturesque village where I grew up. As I sat on the porch of our quaint, weathered farmhouse, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by a rush of emotions. Memories flooded my mind, painting vivid scenes of the past, each one etched with love, laughter, and the timeless wisdom of my dear grandfather, Ignacio. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my racing heart. The day had finally newfound meaning and completeness. My mind wandered to the story of my grandfather, Ignacio, a man whose enduring love had transcended generations and shaped the very core of who I was. His wisdom, kindness, and unwavering love for his family had always been an anchor, guiding me through the highs and lows of life. The legacy he had left behind was not just a tale woven with the threads of time, but a testimony to the power of love, resilience, and the kinship that bound us all together. I glanced at the worn, leather-bound journal nestled in the crook of my arm, the pages filled with my grandfather's handwritten words, preserving his story for the generations yet to come. With a sense of pride and gratitude, I realized that it was now my turn to carry on his legacy, to write the next chapter of our family's history, bound by the enduring strength of love and the unbreakable bond that tied us together. As I took a moment to reflect on the poignant journey that had brought me to this silent prayer, thanking the heavens above for the myriad blessings that had graced my path and the infinite tapestry of love that enveloped me. In that sacred moment, as the first notes of the music danced through the air, I knew that my grandfather's legacy, intertwined with the cherished moments that led me to this poignant day, would continue to echo through time, shaping the lives of generations yet to come. As I turned my gaze to the embrace of my beloved, our heartbeats entwined in a timeless rhythm, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace settle over me, knowing that the culmination of our love, blessed by the laughter of the children who had become the heartbeat of our world, would eternally echo through the annals of time, a testament to the enduring power of love, hope, and the unbreakable bond that binds us all together.